You know what's crazy? This guy was talking about how um this is the crazy part about Christianity and stuff. So in my life, well, everything about Jesus and God, and I'm not trying to make people, we're gonna make it all about, this channel is literally all about Jesus and God. But anyway, so everything that society, especially American culture, has taught us about life is the exact opposite of how Jesus is. So this guy's talking about how there's two signs that you are actually growing closer to God. I I was just in McDonald's and I was getting this Big Mac and my fry and my Coke and my drinks and stuff, and I was like, I'm always like, I always have like these funky feeling on me. Like it's always just like a weird funky feeling, and I was like, you know what? Like for so long I wanted this feeling to go away. You know what I'm saying? Like for so long I've just wanted to be okay and normal, and then never could ever have ever. Some days it's lessened. Most days it's heightened. And I ignore it and this, that, and the other, but um so anyway, this guy's talking about these two signs that you're actually growing closer to God. So he said the first one is that, what did he say? The first sign is that you feel like a sinner. Like I always feel like all of my sinful nature, like, oh, I don't try to focus on the things that I don't do. It's a constant battle to always think about the things that I shouldn't be doing. like like whenever I'm doom scrolling, I'm like these, not every time, but sometimes, like these thoughts come in my head like, dang, I should get off my phone. Or even whenever I do get off my phone, and then I'll be doing something, and it would be, this is how it goes for me. It'll be like I'll put my phone down and I'll go be doing something, or I'll be, doing something else, and then like this some kind of revelation thing comes upon me about whatever it is, right? And and then I'll get like knocked down. But what God is trying to show me is that, anyway, then he said the second part about how you're actually growing closer to God is that your pride will be highlighted way more when you're trying to be like humble. When you're trying to be like a humble servant, you're trying to be humble, but then something will happen and then like your pride like puffs up and it's like, and that happens to me. But the thing that I like about me is that if God just pushed me in this person that I don't, I, this is the thing about God. We don't know why, we don't know what. And even ever since I met this person, I even told him, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to do this, but because God, that's the only reason why I'm doing it, is because God is making me. And I know that sounds really mean. I know that sounds super mean, but do you want to be in obedience to God, in like being forced into humility, or do you want to suffer eternal separation because you did not choose his will for your life? Being humble, like you don't even know, like it's really hard. And especially like I'm difficult by myself, and it's crazy because like there's certain people, my gosh, I just feel like this life was set up for us to suffer, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I feel like when it comes to this person, and I'm not the only one that goes through this, so that gives me a lot of comfort. But if you go on YouTube and you type in God ordained marriages, and then it goes through like these videos of people talking about like how God, like they were around each other and then God's like, that's your wife or that's your husband, and you're like, they're completely thrown off, completely taken aback. The pride is like, oh hell no, like, and they tell their testimonies about that very thing. Like my flesh was like, no, my pride was like, no way, or I didn't like this and that about them. But whenever they actually come together and like, I don't know, God makes it. But I feel like the reason why God does this is because God is the only one that should be on the throne of our hearts, not your spouse, not your children, not your family, not your mom, your dad, your friends, your bestie, whatever. God, Jesus and God should be your only bestie that takes the throne of your heart. So therefore, what like you would get a partner, but the more you work through all those prideful feelings and thoughts and emotions, then you can, first of all, God will reward you for being under his will, and he will reward you for making the necessary behavior changes, as hard as it was. uh Changing all of that about yourself and actually humbling yourself down to being able to go back and be around them and treating them right, and knowing that God is gonna, he'll spank you if you try to be mean to that person, and it ain't gonna feel good, so and that goes both ways. It's not just like, oh, he comes down on the one. No. And so that's that humility thing, is like I see it, this guy talking about, first of all, my sins always highlighted. It's always like my number one goal for the day is try not to eat like a pig. That's always number one. The second one is whenever this person comes into my mind or whatever, it's always like these prideful thoughts get puffed up, and it's like whenever God first revealed it, the devil had a heyday with my thoughts and my feelings, my emotions. Like he would, like I would get these evil thoughts, like like just evil prideful thoughts that weren't from God and stuff, and it's not God's nature to be like that. And but I know me personally, like obeying God, I'm just like, push us together and we'll be forced to act right. You know what I mean? Like it's really like dealing with children. And it's so sad because I don't know, it's really sad. And if you know, but so just I hope that that's what this is looking like, because I'm sick and tired of myself. I'm sick and tired. I like living alone, and that's the saddest part. That's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I got. Bye.